Another day is here, so that means welcome to day 3 of David's Tea's 24 Days of Tea 2024 edition. And for day 3, we have a new tea. At least I think it's new. It's new to me because I've never tried it before. And that is Organic Cherry Cider. Now, when I look at the ingredients on the back of the box, Organic Cherry Cider is an herbal infusion, which means it has no actual tea in it, which means it has no caffeine in it, which for me, right now, is fantastic because I've had a couple cups of coffee today out of Rockstar. Needless to say, it's been a long day. But you might be wondering, what else is in this tea? Well, we have organic apple, organic hibiscus, organic rosehip, organic licorice root, organic blackberry leaf, organic bean peel, organic willow bark, natural cherry flavoring, organic tart cherry, organic apple cider vinegar powder. Really an interesting set of ingredients there, and I'm happy that every part of the ingredients is organic. Now, certain things that stick out to me is the organic rosehip, the licorice root. I don't know what organic bean peel is. Is it just the peel of a bean? Willow bark. But of course you have your apple, which makes sense because of cider. You have your cherry flavoring and your tart cherry because it's organic cherry cider. So those two ingredients make sense that they should be in there. But the question of all is, how does it taste? Now, when I smell it, it smells very, very floral. I'm all for it, right? It has that apple scent coming off of it. The cherry scent is very, very distinguishable. And I'm trying to think, what else do I smell? Hibiscus, absolutely, because hibiscus always works with a fruit kind of infusion, an herbal tea. Hibiscus, I believe, is a plant of some sort. I don't know for certain, but I know I love hibiscus in my teas, especially in my iced teas. So let's see how it tastes. So it's very interesting because it doesn't taste like much of a cider that I would say. It definitely has the cherry flavors in there. It has those floral aromas from your hibiscus, your rosehip. I'm trying to think what willow bark is supposed to taste like. Because there's nothing inherently that's sticking out, right? Like, for the most part, what I'm getting out of these ingredients is the hibiscus, the rosehip. Not really the licorice root, because I would expect it to be a little more licoricey, if that makes sense. I'm not getting any of that in here. The apple cider vinegar powder, definitely, because there is that tartness to it. The tart cherry definitely sticks out as well. Now, overall, what this reminds me of is if you were to take, like, a tart cherry, or like even like a Bing cherry, right? Maybe they're the same. I'm not sure. They're definitely, hopefully, in the same family because they're both called cherries. And just make like a hot juice out of it. You know, it doesn't really have that ciderness to it, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, right? To me, when I think of apple cider, I think of more of a spice to it, right? Like you have your hot apple juice, your cinnamon, a lot of times, maybe some cardamom, some nutmeg. This doesn't have any of those ingredients. This is purely a fruit infusion when it comes down to it, and floral. So the spices aren't there. But does that make it bad? Well, no. It's actually very delicious. I wouldn't call it a cider in my book, if we're being honest. I would have come up with a different name. Organic Cherry Blossom, maybe, right? But it is a good tea. It is a good nighttime tea, a wind-me-down tea, an herbal tea for any part of the day. It's very tarty, right? And you get a nice hibiscus taste to it. I guess, you know, David's Tea, I've said this for years, loves to put apple as the first ingredient of a lot of their teas that involve other fruits. And I think that might, at this point, just be because it helps to bring out the other flavors or make them a little bit more substantial. Because apple is a great ingredient to a lot of herbal teas because you can, I don't want to say disguise it as something else, but it tends to just work well because it's sweet. It's not super in its own flavor depending on what kind of apple you're using. But for a cherry cider, it definitely works well because I think it helps bring out more of the cherryness. It is tarty, as I mentioned, but there is a subtle sweetness to it. You know, some of the things I wish else I could taste in here would be whatever bean peel is. You know, bean and willow bark, I don't really know what they're supposed to taste like. I thought willow bark would have a tree type flavor, if that makes sense, and I'm not getting like a woodiness to this. To be honest, that's probably not what willow bark actually is, but I kind of wish it had that little bit more of that woodiness. Does that make sense? You know, I don't know if you want to drink wood, because that probably sounds disgusting, but like hints of an aroma, like a cedar wood or something like that in a tea, I don't think would be awful, right? Now, for this being day 3, I like it because it's a very mellow tea, right? It's a very ease you into possibly the rest of the first week kind of tea. You know, for day 1, we had, I forgot, right? For day 2, we had Alpine Punch. What did we have for day 1? I could just look at it. Wow, my memory is shot. Like I said, I've had a long day today. That's right, we had Clementine Cheer. It was another first-time tea that I had never had. So I think this is cool for day 3. You know, a nice herbal infusion after we had a rooibos yesterday, and Clementine Cheer, I believe, was a oolong. So this is our first herbal infusion, per se, right? Technically, you could say rooibos is herbal because it's not actual tea, but this is probably the most fruit-flavored one I think I've had so far in terms of, like, what it brings out. So Organic Cherry Cider is definitely a thumbs up for me, maybe a 2 thumbs up, thumb and a half. Especially because I obviously don't need any more caffeine into my day, so this is nice for right now. I can see this being like a tea that you would bring going to like an orchard or sitting outside, letting the wind blow. It's definitely one of those mellow teas, right? It's something that would hit the spot, depending the right mood, but that's just my opinion. What is your opinion if you've been following along of day 3, Organic Cherry Cider? As always, leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. Until next time, guys, steep it up, drink it up, and enjoy. I will catch you tomorrow. See ya. Bye.